We're going to bring out your next comedian. Your next comedian is a comedic force. She dips in all things comedy. She's hilarious and hysterical. I'm just so excited for this. Please give it up for Brie Watson.
Oh my goodness, how's it going? How's everybody doing? Okay, answer right now really loud. Oh, good. Oh my goodness, my name is Brie. Thank you very much for being here this evening. Here's something. I look like, this is my aesthetic. I look like a kindergarten teacher who signed up for a yoga class and then never went. And that's my general aesthetic I'm talking about. I was wondering if that would work tonight because this is the first time I've told that joke without actually wearing yoga pants. These are stretchy jeans, not far off. But then I was like, oh, is it gonna read? Turns out I'm wearing a sports bra, so yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine tonight, okay? We're fine. I noticed, coming in here, there's a group of people who speak French. What's your deal? What are you doing here? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Tell me. And if you're don't pretend to be oh, I don't understand what happened, because if that's what you're concerned about, je me suis aperçu en rentrant aujourd'hui qu'il y a un groupe de personnes dans l'auditoire qui parlent français. Qu'est-ce que vous faites ici? Oh, très bien. Et vous jusqu'à date, ça va bien en anglais? Il n'y a pas de problème? Oui, ça va. Vous venez du Québec, la France? France! Ah, they're from France! That's a long way to go to come to a comedy show. Fantastic. Où dans la France?
On vient de la Belgique, en fait.
Oh, the Belgique! Ooh.
Pas tous, hein.
Pas tous. Okay, some of them, guys, I'm keeping you updated. Some of them are from France, some of them are from Belgium. This is exciting. It is an international night here. And I gotta tell you, il faut que je vous dise, I used to live in the Artois. J'habitais l'Artois. Arras. Arras. Yeah. None of them sound excited about that. It is true. It's kind of like a stick in the mud of a town. But fine. I used to live in France. I worked at the Vimy Canadian War Memorial because there's one thing that's true. Why are you laughing at that? If there's one thing that hits at a comedy club, it's jokes about the First World War. Here we go. Let's do it. Non, mais bienvenue. On est content de vous avoir ici, chez nous. Yeah. Okay, I'll go on talking about my non-French stuff for the rest of the evening. What do I have? Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So my name's Brie. I used to live in Toronto. I recently moved back home. I moved back home to the Niagara region. And it was weird that, I was just talking about Fort Erie, because that's around. I didn't move back to Fort Erie. That place sucks. I didn't move back home to Niagara, not with my parents either, because that would also suck. I moved back home, and I knew that this would happen. I knew that I would bump into people that I knew from high school or whatever when I moved back home. But I didn't know where I would bump into them. I don't know what I expected, to be honest. Because now that I'm down there, I do a bunch of comedy down there. I do some improv and some stand-up, and I thought, well, maybe it'd be nice if any of them came to see me at one of my shows. That'd be fun. Maybe it'd be nice to bump into people I know at a show. But it turns out you never bump into people you know at comedy shows where they do sneak up on you. Well, here, I'll give you an example. Let's just say you're berating an A&W employee because they put too many onions on your mama burger. That's when they show up. That's when they're like, oh, hey, Brie, how's it going? Long time no see. Fuck you, Dan! Come to my shows! Look, I just can't eat that many onions. It's bad for my digestive system. Nightshades. Anybody? I used to be an Army cadet. You guys know what Army cadets are? A round of applause if you know what an Army cadet is. No? Oh, good. Okay, so few of you know. This is good. An Army cadet, it is a paramilitary organization for children. For hormonal teens. Yes, it's good. I joined Army cadets because I wanted to make friends. And shoot them. I gotta snort. Come on. Awesome. Everybody loves the snorter at the comedy show. You're the best person in the audience, whoever just snorted. You go home, like I'm sure comedians have like one person who couldn't stop laughing so much so that we wanted her to like maybe go to the hospital. I got like a snort. That's a good one. What else? Somebody pees their pants. That's the ultimate one. You keep me posted, all right? If you guys piss yourselves tonight, I want a report. So I moved back down. I'm currently in the process of selling my house. This is so fun. How many people here own? This is so stupid. Give me a round of applause if you own property. Woo! Yeah, one person. One person. This is Toronto, baby. None of us own property. That's why I had to move to Niagara. It's just so hard. It's so hard. So that's why I'm down there. I'm currently in the process of moving, and it's very interesting because we had to bring in some stagers to come in and stage the house to make it look nice. Because apparently I don't own anything nice enough that someone would walk into the house and be like, yes, I'll buy it. Nothing of mine is good enough. So they bring in a bunch of people who put nice things in your house and they make it look aesthetically pleasing. And they tell you to get rid of a couple things. I don't know if you've ever had to deal with this. They tell you to get rid of a couple things, like toilet brushes. You gotta get rid of your toothbrush, like not get rid of, but like hide. I'm still brushing my teeth, folks. So you gotta hide that. You gotta hide Kleenex boxes. You've gotta hide soap. Like if you have soap or shampoo, you've gotta hide all of that. Basically hide anything that proves that a human being is living in this house, right? If anything comes out of your body and you need something to either catch it or to wash it, get rid of it. Because that's not going to convince somebody to buy your house. What will convince somebody to buy your house is a giant fucking portrait of a horse. Okay? That's what you put one of those up. You see, you put one of those up, and apparently people are like, oh, I'll take it. Great, excellent. It's dumb. I live with my husband. I'm married. We've been married for 3 years now. But we were together for a long time before that, so we try to keep things a little exciting in the bedroom. We like to do a little role play. Anybody else? You're not admitting it, but I know you do. For example, he likes it. My husband likes it when I dress up like a sexy schoolgirl, a sexy consensual schoolgirl. I like it when he dresses like he's employed. Yeah, that's the best. For sure, yeah. He wears a suit sometimes just to keep things spicy, and I'm like, fuck, you know what? I'll settle for a polo. I don't need a suit. Just a polo. You got a name tag? I'll take that. I'll take the name tag. I know it's going to be a real spicy evening if he pulls out like a copy of his old ROE. Then I'm like, oh, it's going to be a good one tonight. That's a record of employment for those of you who don't know. Doesn't have very many of them. It's important. The other day I was driving in the city. Yeah, I own property and I drive. I am not a Toronto comic. I am not you. Anyway, you're like, what? Anybody else will be like, I have nothing. I own nothing. I'm like, I have to because I live in Niagara. There's no way to get along. Anyway, here we go. I was driving. I stopped at a red light. There was a guy asking for money. At every red light in Toronto, there's somebody asking for money. And I keep change in my car just because, for this purpose, right? So I saw the guy. I grabbed the toonie out of my change cup. And I noticed he hadn't made eye contact with me, so we hadn't seen each other yet. I noticed he was holding a sign. I read his sign. His sign said, I stand with Don Cherry. No way! See, beggars can't be choosers. They can choose not to be racist, though. If you ask me, I think that's a choice you can make. I'll just end on this last thing. When I went away to university, my mother gave me a copy of the book Outlander. Any big Outlander fans? Chris loves Outlander. She's also heard this joke so many times. Anybody like Outlander? Are we familiar with Outlander? I can't see you, so give me a round of applause if you like Outlander. Okay, one person. This is a joke for you. I assume it's a woman. I can't see you. So she gave me a copy of this book when I went away to university. And for those of you who don't know, this is a book. It's a book of a historical fiction novel set in 17th century Scotland about a woman who goes back in time. And then back in time in 17th century Scotland, where it's just like men in kilts who are out. The Scots are at war with the English. The English are at war with the French. Bringing it back. Lots of war happening. And it's just like, it's a time of very, the ideal, sexy, built Scottish Highlander, right? I don't know why I'm standing like this. I imagine that's how they stood. So they had their kilts, their sexy thighs, all the books describe. For some reason, there's lots of description about the musculature in the thighs. Anyway, so that's what the book. The woman goes back in time. She gets married to this Scottish guy, which is like crazy because she's married in like her current time. But is she? Because she never. Because this marriage is before that marriage ever existed. Anyway, time travel's confusing. So this happens. It's a steamy book too. They get married, sure, not sexy, but they fuck a lot. Super sexy. And I remember reading it like on the OC Transpo. I went to school in Ottawa, and I just remember like getting warmer on the bus. They know. But the weirdest thing is, like a few years later, my mom came back to me and she apologized for having me lent me that book. I know, weird, right? She apologized. My mom is very Catholic. She apologized and she said, I was concerned this book might have had a negative impact on your sexuality, on your developing sexuality. And I thought about it for a second. I was like, that's ridiculous. And then I thought about it a little more. This book is about time travel, as I mentioned, right? And now, whenever my husband wants to have sex, I only ever want to do it in the future. In the future! My husband will be like, let's get it on! And I'll be like, nuh-uh, later. Not interested right now. Let's keep it till later. I'll add one more very quick thing. Ladies and gentlemen, my mom thinks I'm passive-aggressive. So I told her to fuck off. In a note. Thank you very much. I'm Brie. Let's go!
Brie, ladies and gentlemen! Isn't she great? Oh my gosh. First of all, when I asked where people were coming from, and French and Belgian people were not saying anything,